I'm so sorry, everyone. The video got cut off at the beginning, so I'm not sure what happened with that. Hopefully it doesn't get cut off again. If it does, I'm gonna have to swap my Wi-Fi. But let's jump right in. Like I said, last Pink Sheep and Friends of the year. Hopefully Courtney has rejoined us. And hopefully, like I said, fingers crossed it doesn't drop again. I'm not really sure what happened. Um, but let's see if she is here. It will let me invite. Fingers crossed that it works. There she is.
Here she is.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm so sorry. I don't know why it just said your video ended. And I was like,
It's
well,
okay.
I didn't end it.
Yeah, I came in a few times and I was like, it just keeps repeating like, hey everyone, and then pause. And I was like, something's wrong.
I have a feeling that it was because I switched my Wi-Fi when I was already live. And I think that probably just like screwed the whole thing up.
Probably,
so I don't know if anyone saw anything that I said the first go around.
No, I literally every time I came in, it just said like, hey everybody, and then that was it.
Oh no. Well, I'm glad that it ended then, and I wasn't trying to bring you on.
Yeah.
Well, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. It's almost Christmas, so it's a little nerve-wracking.
I actually all of my shopping's done. I haven't wrapped anything though.
I haven't wrapped anything either. And did you make anything for Christmas this year for Christmas gifts? Okay.
No.
So I got myself into a little bit of a pickle, and I made this like super fluffy jacket for myself, and my cousin decided that she wanted one, and I was like, okay, this was really fun. Like, I'll make another one, but I need to buy a different kind of fluffy yarn. Well, the different kind of fluffy yarn is like, you can't see anything. I mean, it's so much worse than like what I used. It wasn't that bad, but this stuff, let me just give you a little bit of a sneak peek because it's ridiculous. So this is what the yarn looks like.
Oh man.
And this is what it looks like when it is crocheted.
Oh, you can't see any stitches. It is just all
nothing. No. So I'm like, I sure hope that this gets done in time for Christmas. I don't know if it will, because it sure as heck slows you down.
You know what? That's okay. A little after, here it is right now. It'll be soon.
Well, for anyone who does not know who you are, if you want to do just a quick little intro and let people know who you are and what you do.
Hi, everybody. I'm Courtney. I'm on Real Knits in the flesh here on the internet. I do a lot of test knitting. I'm a test knitter. You've probably seen me. You've probably seen me. You just probably have. If you're a knitter, you've probably seen me. I do a lot of test knitting, and I got into that a few years ago when designs really weren't super size inclusive, and now things are like way better than they were before. So I do a lot of knitting. I'm newbie crochet person. I just finished my squares last night for a cardigan, but now I have to weave in for that. So that's I'm not looking forward to weaving ends in for that. I do some spinning. I do some sewing.
Awesome.
I do some sample knitting now too. So if anyone needs a sample knitter, I could be your girl.
Yeah, and so you knit the sweater you're wearing.
I did knit this. It's the Antique Flora.
That's amazing. Like, amazing.
Thank you. And it's a fade. It's DK with fingering weight, like marled fade all the way down. It's really good.
It's literally like the exact opposite of what I do.
I know. I knit with a lot of like fingering weight yarns a lot of the time. Like fingering DK, like that's really where I end with that. I don't really go past maybe worsted, honestly.
Yeah. And how long would you say it would normally take you to make one of kind of your what you would say like a regular sweater? Because a lot of yours are pretty detailed. So like a detailed sweater and a yarn weight that you love, what's kind of your time frame there, and how often do you work on them during the day?
If I'm just knitting like a plain stockinette, like no motif, nothing, that could probably take me like a month.
Okay.
To knit like in my size, which is like I tend to knit like a 3 or 4x depending on the ease for the garment. So like that's
Mm-hmm.
really not a long time because I have a
Yeah.
lot of time to work on it. If
Mm-hmm.
if I'm sitting, I'm working on a project 9
Yeah.
times out of 10, and I'm very lucky because I get to stay home all day. I
Mm-hmm.
take care of my grandma. So I have a lot of downtime to just like be knitting and working on stuff. But this one took me maybe like 6 weeks. And
Yeah.
it's mostly just because like the rows get so long
Yeah.
before you split for sleeves. It's like hundreds of stitches. But once you get the split for sleeves, like the body goes so fast after all of this. But this like keeps you interested. So
Yeah.
it's
You
not too
say so fast, and I think that there are some testers, which is kind of crazy. I try really hard to like stick with the time frame that is needed for knitting and not knitting crochet
Mhm.
tests. But then I'll have these like outliers who come in and they may still be making like an XL or like a 2X or something, and they make it in like 2 days.
Yeah, it's just like,
And I'm like,
whoa.
you're ruining this for everyone.
Like, geez, okay. We're still gonna I hopefully still keep the deadline, but like, I mean, if everyone finishes early, then like great,
Yeah.
release your pattern early. But that would be wild. I finished a few things like tank tops or like bralettes or
Yeah.
stuff like that, like really fast because they're so small. But
Yeah.
other than that, like crop tops probably take about like 3 weeks. But like full length sweaters, like full sweaters, at least a month, maybe like month and a half, depending.
Have you ever had any, because I know like when it comes to super detailed stuff, have you ever had any situations where it really was just like an holy crap moment, I screwed up like the very first row, like with the
Oh,
details and things? Have you ever had that?
I
Spill.
I have I can show you. I can
Sure.
show you all that I
Yeah.
have actually. So this is the 3-season cardigan from Wool and Pine. It's fully
Uh-huh.
cabled and lace, the
Oh,
whole thing.
wow.
And
Yeah, that's
on the
beautiful. And
front
I've seen photos of that one.
on the front panel here, it's so hard to tell over video. I messed up a cable section in here.
Yeah.
You can see it if I compare it to the other side. This is the messed up side. Oh golly, where?
And of course, like
right
I
in the center.
guess,
It's
yeah,
right
like one's maybe a little higher.
No, it's like completely. It's right here. It looks like a little butthole.
Ah.
And it's supposed to look like that. And I would have had to rip. Like this is knit flat, seamed together. It's cable. It's like too much work for me to have wanted to rip it out because I thought about it, and I realized it when it was on the blocking mats.
Oh no!
I stood up and I was like, "Oh, I'm so happy it's done." And then I was like, "What is that?
Yeah.
What is
Wait
that?"
a second.
So I mean, it's just a design element. It makes it unique to me. No one else is gonna look like that.
Exactly. Yeah, I think the main reason, one of the big reasons that I steer clear now of like the more my cat is up on the table. Sorry, one second. Here we go. Had to give him the boot. I was making a scarf, and this is back at earlier on. I wasn't really selling a lot of stuff, and I decided, have you heard of Brooklyn Tweed?
Mm-hmm.
So lots of intricate, beautiful knitwear. And they had a free pattern for a scarf that was very intricate and detailed and knit. And, you know, I was early on, I was like, maybe this is really beautiful. This is really cool. Like, I'm going to try this. And, you know, a lot of people say too, you know, I want something that's going to keep me interested, you know, so I don't get bored. And I started through the scarf pattern, and I probably got like this much done, which it was taking forever because I've, you know, never been a fast knitter. It takes me a long time, and you're counting rows and you're counting stitches and you're knitting and purling and doing all this crazy stuff. And
a lot of brain power sometimes.
And it was creating this beautiful pattern. You know, I mean, it was gorgeous, and I got about this far, and I, you know, got another section almost the same amount, so I like doubled that, and I started looking at it. And I was like, wait a second. And I had reversed it. So the pattern started on one side and then continued on the other side. So one side just looked like, you know, so I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah. I don't blame you. I have ripped out stuff like fully. I was working on a shawl a few years ago that was brioche, the whole entire thing with like increases. And I love brioche. I am not a
Mm,
brioche
beautiful.
surgeon. I can't
Yeah.
fix it. If I drop a stitch and it's like within the increases and decreases, forget it. And I tried so hard to fix it, and people were like, you could just pull it out to like the last section, and I was like, no. I just ripped it out. I've never knit it again. I've never used the yarn for that on anything else. It's sitting in a bag right now. Just
Yeah.
it was my fault, but
Yeah. I mean, I think it really depends on how much of a challenge people want. Because I think that was me. I was like, I just want to crochet, like that meme. Like, I just want to crochet. I don't want to be ripping this out or having to pay attention to things. But some people need that. Some people don't want to sit there and do the same stitch over and over, or
The thing is, I love a sea of stockinette. Plain stitches, count me. Yeah. Oh yeah. I can knit it so fast. Like, I don't have to look at it because it's just plain. It's all the same in the round usually. Like, this was so much brain power for me. This took so long, and like, granted, like, these sections easy to repeat. Like, all the lace easy repeats, but the cables, this is only the second cardigan I've ever knit, and I was like, sure, I'll do some cables. I'll knit it flat. It's fine.
So, and someone just said putting yarn and projects in timeout is real. And I remember it was Chelsea that I talked to last week, Knitting Tipsy, who said that she calls it the naughty corner. And I think we should all have a naughty corner where all of the naughty projects go.
I have a bunch of little projects that are just like long time whips. I have a sweater actually that just needs one more sleeve knit on it. And it's been a whip for a year.
Is it a difficult sleeve, or you're just like, nah, just want to do it?
It's a plain stockinette sleeve. It is fingering weight yarn though.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of little stitches, and I really could just finish it, but I'm like, I have all these other magical things I could be working on right now. Instead, I could cast something new on. It could be fun. But I'm really trying not to. I have like 6 whips right now, and I'm trying not to cast anything else on until I like finish some of them. So
yeah. I felt like I told my husband that he needed to start an account that was like bad knitting and crochet advice. So like post memes that were like, you should never buy yarn until you use up what you have. Like all of the things that are like taboo that like you don't tell people to do.
Right. And my stash is like big, and I have dreams of knitting things for myself, and then I get caught up in test knits.
Yeah.
I get caught up, and I'm like, I don't have the time, but I'm trying to be really good. I've only done like 4 test knits this year, when I used to do like a test knit every single month.
Yeah.
Maybe like multiple. But I got like bad burnout, and I got an injury on my wrist from knitting too much. So I had to take a break from that. So it's been like sucky because I want to test knit a bunch of stuff, but then I'm like, do I?
Yeah. Well, so you make a lot of wearables. What are some of the other things you've made, and do you have other like favorite things? Like, do you knit socks? Do you knit anything that you love that's not sweaters?
I have sock whips currently. I like I said, I like a plain thing, so I knit patterned socks. Socks for me are just like plain, and for me to travel with, or just to like do in the middle.
Because you use them. Yeah. I mean, it's like a regular use thing when you make them.
Yeah. I wear the knit socks that I make, and then I like to knit hats. Like, I have some hat. Like, this is my favorite hat. I'm sure if people follow me, they've seen.
Yeah.
I love the pink hat so much that I knit.
I like the pink. Those are so cute.
Right. I love them. I love knitting hats. Like, I need more. I have so many hats, but I don't need more hats. But I love to knit them, and I love to knit shawls. I love a shawl. Those are fun, and I don't knit nearly enough of them. I think I have like 4.
Yeah. So how does it work for you when you go to pick projects? So I know that you have test pieces. Do you have certain brands or people that you follow that you look for? Do you just search Ravelry? Like, what is your kind of game plan when you're trying to choose what's my next project, or, what's my wish list?
Well, if we're talking like test knits, I test knit for a lot of the same people. So like Jessie May, Wool and Pine Designs. I do some Jackie C. Slack patterns. I tend to like stick to people that I know write written patterns, because I've branched out to like other designers that I've never test knit before with,
It can be
and the
tough.
patterns just like were not written very well, and it was very frustrating. And I'm not a person who really likes to drop test knits, but like I've had to for one, and I felt really bad, and
Yeah.
it's hard. But I do a lot of the same. I also follow Fat Test Knits, so I see a lot of their tester calls, and some of those I've applied for and test knit for people there, which is like a great place to find like new people to test knit for. But if we're talking test knits, some of the people like Wool and Pine, like they'll come to me and be like, do you want to test knit this?
Awesome.
Do you want to do this one? Because I have test knit like 75% of their patterns. But like if we're talking just like personal knitting, it's just like dreamy knits of mine that I'm like, ooh, those are good.
Yeah.
Those are good. They like cue on Ravelry, and then I'm just like scheming over yarn. And if I have yarn in my stash that works for it, I'm like, let's go right now. Let's cast it on right now. But I'm also a very avid swatcher.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I know people don't like to swatch, and I used to be that person.
Same.
And I still kind of don't like swatching, but because of test knitting, like it does so much good for you. And then you have to rip out your sweater later. Even though they lie sometimes. Swatches are liars sometimes.
Sometimes. Yarn is a big, big liar. So like I'm like, you say that you're this, you look like you're exactly like this, but because you're acrylic and not cotton or wool or whatever, you use more yardage.
Right?
What?
Exactly. Like it depends on like the type of like needle or hook you're using. Is it a metal hook? Is it a bamboo hook? Is it grippier? Like I strictly only knit on metal needles. That's it. I don't have any other needles. So however it works for that, but I swatch because I didn't one time for a test knit, and then the sleeves were about 5 inches too long.
Oh no. Blocking can't fix that.
No,
either, right?
no, it can't. It cannot. Can't fix that.
Oh man.
But I really, I knit a lot of like sweaters and stuff because I just think that they're like, I don't know, I like to wear them. I like that. And I mean, I like accessories too, but sweater, I have just knit so many different like tops, variations of tops, like full sweaters, tank tops, bralettes, crop tops, all of them. I got them all.
And I love seeing your style. So when you post, you have fun with your photo shoots, you can see it, you know. What's probably like, what would you say if you had to pick like your top 3 outfits that you could choose with something that you've made? What would those look like?
I've never thought about that. I love my outline tee from Jessie May. It's yellow. I have it here. It's cotton linen.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It is one of my favorite things I've ever knit. It's so comfortable because it's cotton linen, so it's like perfect summer top and like perfect transitional top because you can like pair it with a jacket or like layer it over other stuff. So like that with like a pair of jeans. Great. I love that. I am a big jeans person. I'm barely wearing dresses ever, but if I'm wearing a dress, like a plain black one with a sweater over top, like a crop top over top of it, because that's cute. It's hard to pick which ones.
It is.
I have so many sweaters that I'm like, that's my favorite. This is my favorite right now.
How do you store your sweaters? Because I know that's a big question a lot of people get.
I have a cedar chest that I scored off Facebook Marketplace for really cheap because they go like, if people know what they are and they understand what they are, they're like $200 on Facebook Marketplace. But the lady who sold me mine was $30.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful.
It's in perfect condition. It came with the key to lock it and everything, so I keep them in there. But it's a little full. A little full because I have a lot of sweaters. If I don't have them in there, I put them in drawers. I fold them. I don't ever like hang my knits because then like it stretches fiber out. It's like not good for it. But I'll fold them and put them in drawers with like cedar sachets and stuff, so moths are like deterred from destroying my precious little babies.
And where are you located?
I live in Pennsylvania.
So, and I don't know if Are moths everywhere? Like, is that a big issue
I
everywhere? Do you
only
know?
assume so. I had an issue like a few years ago where I had to put like my whole stash of yarn in like bags and stuff because I had found some moths, and like you have to like put them in the freezer so that they like any like little eggs like die and stuff like that, and you have to like go through it.
Yeah.
It's such a hassle. And for a while I kept my yarn all in like Ziploc bags.
Hmm.
Currently they're like out on like a
Yeah.
creepy shelf in my room because I like to look at them.
Yeah.
But and I have some in like totes that go under my bed and stuff like that because the stash is just too big. You can't go in all the cubes.
Yeah. I remember I saw a reel once, and it wasn't having to do with moss, but you mentioned the freezer, and I can't remember who it was off the top of my head right now. You may have seen the reel, but it was someone who was putting their knitwear in a Ziploc bag in the freezer instead of cleaning it,
Mm-hmm.
because I guess that like helps get rid of the
Mm-hmm.
smell. And I said I had to remix the reel and show me trying to stuff one of my jumbo sweaters in
God,
the freezer. She just
please.
put it in like a little drawer on the bottom, and I was like, mine would take up a whole shelf.
Right, exactly. And like the thing is with that too is like I'm sure it was probably like wool because wool is like antimicrobial and like anti
Mhm.
like it is self like temperature regulating and stuff like that. So like that works for wool. Like I don't really wash a lot of my sweaters,
Mhm.
if I'm being honest. I
Yep.
just don't wash them because
Deodorant.
they don't smell. They don't smell. If they did smell or if I spilled something on it, then I would, but like I'd have to reblock it.
Yeah.
Especially this, like I'd have to repin it down and it's just
Yeah. Yeah.
so much effort. But a lot of them I just put them on, and if
Yeah.
they are fine.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
one sweater that's acrylic that I wear a ton of. I wore it the other day because I can put it in the wash. So I
Yeah.
wear that one like all the time
Hmm.
because I don't have to.
That's true.
Yeah.
So we need to do like origin story with
Mm.
you. So when did you learn to
I,
knit? Like when did it all start
I
for you?
learned it after high school, so like 2012, like
Hmm.
summer, like fall 2012. And that's because I was always like, I want to learn how to knit. I want to do that
Yeah.
all through high school. And I just never did it
Yeah.
because I was like, I don't know where to start. So
Yeah.
one of my friends, my best friend, she met someone at college who was a knitter and she taught her how to knit. And then they taught me like cast on and knit and purl. And then everything
Hmm.
else I've ever learned or had to learn, I've taught myself from YouTube.
Yeah.
Very Pink Knits on YouTube is my favorite lady. She has the most like in-depth tutorials and different, like she has ones that are like slowed down versions and
That's awesome.
very in-depth, and I really like her a lot. But everything, I've taught myself everything because I was just like, well, I want to knit myself sweaters and stuff because they're cuter than what's ready to wear for my size.
Yep.
And it would be fun, and it is fun, and I like to knit myself clothes because like
Hmm.
no one else can have it unless you're gonna knit it yourself. I'm not gonna knit it for you.
Yeah.
I knit strictly for me
Uh-huh.
unless I'm sample knitting.
Yep.
If I'm sample knitting, that's different. Like I like doing that, but I knit for me or like my sister because she takes care of the things I make her and like
Yeah.
understands the like time and effort and technique and skill that go into knitting stuff. So you have to be very knit worthy for me to want to make you something.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to gift, especially wearable pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've gifted hats and scarves and things
Yeah.
like that. But I think when you're looking at the time and effort that it takes to make something like a cardigan or a sweater,
Yeah.
you have to really know that they actually want it,
Mm-hmm.
like, and are actually going to
Yeah.
wear it, yeah, and take care of it. And that's kind of hard to judge sometimes unless you like really know
Exactly.
someone.
And it's hard to like, how long do I knit the sleeves? How long
Yeah.
do you want the body?
Yeah.
Are you going to try it on?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
excuse me. That's why I knit for my sister because she's here. We live together.
Yeah.
Like I can be like, put this on. How long do you want it? Is it long enough? Like knitting for someone else that isn't readily available to try something on. No, I don't want to do that. That stresses me out because in my brain, I'm like, they're going to get it. And then what if it doesn't fit?
Even just the tiniest bit, like if the
Yep.
sleeves are just a little too long and then they're not comfortable
Right.
in it. And they don't blame them.
Right.
Like
Or
I don't
too
blame
short.
someone for,
I
yeah.
just, that makes me want to rip my hair out. It stresses me out. It's just so stressful sometimes because I don't want to make something that is like inferior. I have a complex when it comes to knitting personally, I'm like too perfectionist
I mean, look at that
with
sweater.
myself. I know, but that's the problem. I like have too much, I don't want to say I have too much faith in myself because I'm like capable of doing whatever I want, but like
Yeah,
I'm a little bit cocky about it.
you
I
should
won't
be.
lie.
I mean, I think when you've worked to achieve that level of, talent, because you've practiced. I mean, that's what we all talk about. It's practice.
Mm-hmm.
It's trying new things. It's pushing yourself. Um, knowing you're going to fail. I mean,
Yeah.
like we all fail when we start trying these new things, and it takes practicing. And I think once you have gone through that cycle and you get to that point where you're like, I'm a commodity. Like I'm a hot commodity. Like people want me to design for them because I do a good
Mm-hmm.
job, because I can meet the deadlines, because I give good feedback, because I just do good work. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that we give ourselves enough credit a lot of times. Like
Oh
I think
yeah,
we're
I'm
too
really
quick to
bad
be
at
like,
it.
oh, we're still
I'm
not good enough,
bad at it. I will just be like, not me. What are
Yeah.
you talking about? Me? Like
Yeah.
I'm just nobody. Like I'm just someone on the internet that happened to like get a little bit of followers. I'm just a normal girl. I'm just doing whatever I want and hope
Yeah.
that people like it. And if they don't, well then I'm not the person for them.
Yeah.
That's it. It's okay. We don't have
Yeah.
to be friends.
No. And I think that it's all back to like the pros and cons of social media, that it has created this amazing community where people can connect, because we all just are like normal people.
Mm-hmm.
Like same thing, same here. I'm just this person,
Mm-hmm.
who has decided to crochet and make things and
Yeah.
share them with other people. And, it has given us the chance to make these connections with people we never meet in person,
Oh, for sure.
and
I love Instagram and social media and things like that. I know it's like wishy-washy with people sometimes, but I wouldn't have half of the amount of friends I have if it wasn't for Instagram, if it wasn't
yeah.
for like deciding one day to just be like, maybe I should make a knitting account and stop
Hmm.
just posting it on my personal Instagram account. Like I have met so many people who I'm lucky enough to get to call my friend every day, who like I genuinely have like a good relationship with, and we are like actually friends even though we've never met each other.
Yeah.
Like social media is a blessing and a curse, but like more of a blessing
Hmm.
to me.
Yeah.
I just love it. I think it's great, and I like being able to connect with people about like size inclusive things, and like being a safe space for like fellow fat crafters within the community that like don't really have another place maybe that they feel
Yeah.
comfortable or safe, or like they like people have been like, I felt like I couldn't or shouldn't knit sweaters for myself because like I just thought it would take too much time, or like I don't deserve it, or this or that. And then they see me and they're like, maybe actually I do
Yeah.
deserve that. I'm like, you do, babe.
Yeah.
You do, because I do. Doesn't
Yes.
matter how long it takes. It's still going to be fun. So,
Yeah. So talk to me a bit about that Crafters Club.
oh,
So
that
you have
crafters
that in your bio, and let everyone know what
that
that
crafters
is.
club is a place that you can come and join on Discord. The Discord is strictly for fats. The Instagram account is for anyone that wants to follow, but the Discord, we keep it like separated so that people feel safe in there, mostly because like some people are just not nice.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, and we care about their safety and feeling safe in that group, and like being able to share things that they wouldn't otherwise share like on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We have a lot of rules in there about like not sharing designs that are not size inclusive up to at least a 60-inch bust. We have many different groups in there for like knitting, crochet. We have spinning, weaving, sewing. We have some
Mm-hmm.
little game threads and everything. And there's just a lot going on in there. It's a lot of community building in there too.
That's awesome.
And it's just a nice place where like you get to be fat, and it's all about you. It's a
Yeah.
space for you. It's a space for us to come together and like meet new friends. Maybe they live in the same area as you, and you can to meet up with them and everything. But it's a really cool place. One of the mods is actually in here. Victoria
And
is one of
how did it all start? Like, how did this whole idea start, and how did it change into what it is now?
it started because my friend Kat messaged me on Instagram being like, my friend is not being very nice to me about
Oh.
like being fat. And I was like, they're not your friend, babe, actually. If they're being mean to you about that, then I'm sorry, they're not your friend.
Yeah.
And she wanted to make a space where like you could have a safe place like that. And she got together with me and Victoria and my friend Lily and Angelica. She's also a mod at Fat Test Knits, Angelica. And we just decided that Discord would be like the best place to host it at, because like anyone can make a Discord account. It's free.
Discord's
it's
a wonderful tool.
Great. There's no limit on the amount of people that can like be in the group, really. It's really great. And you can have rules that people have to like read before they can join. And it's just really great. We've only had one like virtual meetup, but like things have been a little busy, but we are planning to have like monthly like Zooms and stuff to hang out and like craft and talk and have fun. And that's just like, it's very rewarding. It's a nice place to just see people like making things and sharing it, and it's fun. And the Instagram is great too. We have a lot of informational posts up there about like how to be a good ally and what you can do to ask like designers that aren't size inclusive, and just a bunch of stuff over there. So if you want to come and join Fat Crafters Club, the link or the @ is in my bio on Instagram.
Awesome. And so I would love your take on, I know right now more so the knitting community, but I feel like it is all kind of morphing the same way. So like the knitting and the crochet community with the designers and the brands are all making changes, it seems like. But from when you first started to where you are now, what is the change that you've seen when it comes to designers and brands being more size inclusive with patterns and designs?
Well, the first things first is that crochet sucks for size inclusive. Oh yeah, it's hard to find patterns that are size inclusive. It is so hard. There's so many that just they go to like a medium or an extra large, and that's it. Like that's all of it. It's rare. I follow you. I follow I think their username is Manatee Squares. I could be wrong. She's size inclusive. And Hollywood Word Designs. Those are the only crochet designers I follow that have size inclusive designs. And it's hard because like I really like very cute things. Like I'll be honest, like I'm picky when it comes to like crochet and knitting. But like I just want it to be cute. I want it to be at least up to a 60-inch bust. I like for designers to include their schematic on their Ravelry like project page before buying, because it's so important to know like what the measurements of each section are, because I need to know like how small is the arm. Chances are for me, like I have to finagle the sleeves on stuff because my bicep is bigger. So it's really nice to know the measurements beforehand going in, and like what the ease is for everything before buying the pattern. That's really important to me. Like even if it's size inclusive, if it doesn't have the schematic and measurements, I'm not buying the pattern, because I don't want to buy it to find out that like your size range says it's a 5X but goes to a 50-inch bust. On what planet, babe? I don't know. But when I started knitting, there was maybe like a handful of people who went to a 3X, and that was me, and I was the end size in that. And that is not even taking into consideration ease into it. So there were like very few things that I was like, what can I knit? What can I knit that's cute, that like I like the style? And one of the my very first sweater I ever knit was from Tin Can Knits, because their size range has always at least gone to a 4X. I think it goes to a 5X now.
Probably.
And some of their patterns are free. Some of them are like build as you go, like their Strange Brew. You can like pick different motifs to go in and like make it completely unique. And then the first person that I ever test knit for was Jessie May. She, from the beginning of her designing, was up to a 5X. And that was great. And ever since, like, it kind of sparked in the community, like maker community, not just like knitting. It's been like a little rocky road, if I'm honest. Like some designers are really like, no, I don't want to. And it's like, okay, say you don't want my money? Oh, that's fine. You can stay over there. It's okay. But you can tell when designers like really are in it to like make it inclusive for people. Like all of their designs are inclusive, or they go back and make their other designs up to a 5X, which is like something I really appreciate, because there's some designers that I'm like, your stuff is cute, but your older patterns that I love don't go to my size.
Yep.
And that kind of sucks. But I don't know. It's better now. It's better now than it was ever before. I'm 100% sure of that. But crochet needs to get it together. I will say there are a lot of crochet patterns that are like made for your measurements, and like you put it all in. That is dope. That's really cool, and I really appreciate that a lot, because that it's truly like the most inclusive it can be, because it has no stopping point.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot. I've seen a few like knitting sweaters that are like made with your measurements like that, and I think it's really cool.
Yeah, that's a big deal in crochet.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I only have one pattern that has that kind of, you know, technique. And the only reason I didn't do it is because me as a beginner, that felt more intimidating.
Right. I'm sure it does. It's like a lot of math that you have to make sure is correct. That works for everyone to be able to input all of their measurements. So I feel like that would be scary, because it's like, oh, what if it doesn't work?
Yes. And I think that's the only reason I've steered away from it, because I always push my patterns as being so beginner friendly that I was like, I was intimidated by made to measure, so they probably are too. We'll just have the sizing. Yeah,
I'm intimidated by it because I'm like bad at math. So I would second and third guess myself on that math. I'm like, did I do it right? Did I put it in correctly where they told me to put it in and I calculated it properly? My brain would just be like, no, you did it wrong. So I do those because I just have like anxiety around math. But I know a lot of people like them. They're really great for like bralettes and stuff, I've noticed, like crochet, or even like little cardigans I've seen like that. Maybe I'll give it a shot. But I'm also, like I said, my first crochet garment is still a whip. It's still a whip, because why did I choose? I chose a granny square cardigan that I have to do join as you go after making all the squares.
Yeah, that's a tough choice for your first choice.
And I made it even worse because I'm doing it's scrappy. So I had to, each one was like, which color should I select for each row?
Is this a designer's pattern that you chose, or are you just kind of going with it?
It's Holly Woodward Designs.
I wondered. I was going to ask if you'd made any of her stuff, because I know she is
I'm making her GG cardigan is what it is. And it's just so cute. And I have actually yarn to make a second one that's like a palette. A color palette, but I was like, I have a million scraps. Maybe I should use some of those. And I'm very excited to actually assemble it, but I'm not excited that I have to block all the squares first because it's so many squares.
It is. Well, I do think that it would be really awesome for me and you to get together outside of this live research on the live, but put together kind of a list of designers who either have been doing it from the beginning with crochet, being size inclusive, or designers that are actively working to update patterns, you know, if their patterns are size inclusive. Because I do think it's needed, because inside the crochet community, since I don't have any other reference, because I'm not super active in the knit designer community, I feel like there's been a huge push. The designers that I follow, even if some of their older ones are not, because some of my older ones are not, I'm having to go back slowly and retest. I think I've got 3 or 4 sweaters that need to be retested and rewritten. But that's the goal. And I would love to put together a list of designers who are, you know, doing what they can to do better and learn, and you know
what, like I don't hold it too much against like designers if their older patterns aren't inclusive, but every other one since then is. I get it's like when you make designs and you put new designs out, like everyone wants the new one. Everyone is like, what's coming next? Like, what can you push out? And I understand that's like stressful in itself, and like then going back and being like, actually, this isn't new. Do you still want it? Like, and maybe people do or they don't, but I feel like if I was a designer, it'd be like fulfilling, at least to me. Like
it is.
I did all of them. They're all size inclusive now. And maybe just like one every few months just to like sneak in there would be fun and great. But the crochet designers, I feel like would for me would take me a little bit to like source them. I think there might actually be a list, like not a list, but on Ravelry you can make like groups of patterns.
Gotcha.
I think there might be one that is an inclusive crochet one. I think
That would be a good place to
I
start.
think we shared it in Fat Crafters Club in the crochet.
Yeah, that would be good. And I've bookmarked a lot of Facebook posts where people have asked that in groups, and I mark the post because I want to go back and read through and like bookmark all of these people.
Yes.
Because I think it's, you know, I know for me it's difficult because you have people who want to jump into the design world. And I know when I jumped into designing, probably wasn't time for me to jump into designing, but it's like, if I don't do it, I never will.
Yeah, it's like it's an all or nothing for sure. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I have to do I have to create it first.
Yes.
And then I have to write it down and make it make sense. And then I have to grade it. And like grading is what seems to be like the biggest hurdle for a lot of designers, because like I get in the beginning, like some people can't afford like a tech editor or a grader, so they have to do it all their own, and it's just like a lot of learning and a lot of learning with testing if you don't have a tech editor and grader, because like your math could be wrong. And then it's like you have to stop the whole test and like figure everything out. If like it just seems like a little bit of a nightmare to me. That's why I don't design. People are always like, why don't you design? I'm like, I do this for fun. I'm just to be stressed out over math, like no thanks. But tech editors and graders, I feel like that's where a lot of people are just like, I don't want to do it. So
and I know for me it was not doing enough research, so I had no idea what standard measurements were. So I was like, I'll just add a couple of inches here and there until it's big enough, you know, and you don't, you know, and I luckily I had amazing testers from the beginning who would give me feedback of like, no, like this doesn't need to be this long or this wide here, or like this has to be a little different. And I would take that, you know, into account and update the pattern.
Absolutely. And like the ease I don't need that much ease compared to like the smaller sizes, or maybe I do want that much ease. I feel like a lot of designers, like for larger sizes, have a hard time considering the amount of ease people will want as a larger person, because some people might not like that. They might not like all the extra fabric and everything like that. And they might just want like a couple of inches, just a few. So it's nice if things are easy to decide, like between sizes and stuff like that. Like I have a sweater that I knit. I'm not going to say names or name the pattern right now. I'll do that later on my Instagram, but not here. That I had to fix the math. Like I had to have someone help me with math on there, because it was going to be like 14 inches of positive ease. And I was like, I don't want that. I want like my max for positive ease is like 8 inches of positive ease is like a very cozy and nice sweater. And I had to have someone help me be like, stop increasing here. This will be your stitch count. Do this for that. And I was like, thank you, because the pattern had sizes combined, like like 3-4x combined. And it was just like a little bit of a nightmare. And I was very surprised by it, because people really love it. And I was just like, why? It was a dream knit for me, because I was like, it's so pretty. I'm going to knit it. I'm going to finish it anyway. But like, it's been a little bit of a disaster, and I haven't posted it on Instagram yet, because when I did the bind off, my bind off is a little tight for what I like the bottom of a sweater to be. And I'm just going to steek it. I'm just going to cut it. I'm going to cut it.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to sew reinforcements with my sewing machine and cut it on both sides, so that it can have like a split head.
But you can. I mean,
because I'm not gonna unpick it and like fix it. I'm not gonna do that. So but it's just like that. Like all the other sizes had like 6 inches of positive ease, or if you went up to the next size, it would have like 10 inches of positive ease. And my choice was 14 inches of positive ease or 2. And I was like, interesting.
Well, and see, it's like I don't really understand positive ease.
Oh, so that's okay. That's okay. Yeah.
That's a secret. No. But I'm like, here's how wide the finished sweater is going to be. So
nice if you know the finished measurement, and like you would want to base it off of like, well, here's your 3x measurement, and the general size for a 3x is like a 53-inch bust. Your finished measurement for your sweater at 3x is like 57 inches.
Yeah.
So it would be 4 inches of positive ease would be what you like have recommended for that.
Mm-hmm.
And positive ease is great. Negative ease is a little scary because it's tight.
Yeah.
It's tight.
Is it like body forming?
Yeah,
like
I have knit one thing. Well, so a lot of Jessie May's like bralettes are negative ease, but when I was test knitting those, I was like, I'm a little scared. I'm gonna do it at my normal bust measurement. And like, you really shouldn't be scared because it will not fit the way you want it to. You will have to wear it with like a bra underneath, which isn't the intended way to wear it. But I knit my first negative ease pattern, like truly with negative ease. And it was this one. I have it. It was the spring sorrel. And it just like, look how it looks. It looks so small.
So pretty.
It's so little looking. I think it's like a 51-inch measurement, and my bust, like this currently doesn't actually fit me because my bust has grown, so it's a little too tight when I wear it. But my bust when I knit this was a 54, so it had 3 inches of negative ease, and it just is like snug.
But it stretches.
Yes, these are
beautifully,
like so stretchy in between inches. Like there's 3 versions of this, and I test knit all 3 of them. There's the sorrel, the spring sorrel, the summer sorrel. I've knit them all. I recommend them to everybody because they're fun to knit.
Yeah.
But negative ease is like scary, but also a little fun if you want like a form-fitting design to like show off whatever you want to show off. But it's just a little nerve-wracking when you're like bigger and you're like, is it going to fit me? Am I going to be able to get it on? Like that's what deterred me from doing it. Like actually, because I was like, is it going to fit me? It will. Try it on. Yeah. Try it on as you go. Like I don't live by that. I don't like trying things on as I knit them, but like do as I say and not as I do.
Yeah.
Try it on.
I do feel like that's the biggest thing with when I am putting like notes throughout my patterns is like, try it on here, try it on here, try it on here. Like, hey, did you try it on yet? Like, don't weave your ends in yet. Try it on first.
Absolutely. But you should try it. Like if you're doing like a top down, you should try it on before you split for sleeves.
Yeah.
Before you take those stitches off and put them somewhere else, because what if the yoke like isn't long enough? What if you need to knit more? What if it's too long? What if your gauge is off and it's too long? Like, it could be a whole bunch of a mess. So trying it on is really great. I just hate trying things on because I'm like, oh, I have to put it on scrap. I have to put it on like another cable. I don't want to do that. I don't want to. It's too much work, and then I got to put all the stitches back on.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that. I do it, but I don't like doing it.
I do feel like crochet in that sense, it's a lot easier to try things on, to fix mistakes.
Oh, absolutely. The one thing about crochet and knitting is that you can like put crochet down while you're working on it, and nothing will happen. Nothing will happen.
You can put that little stitch marker in that little loop if you're worried about it coming undone. But like if it comes undone, it's one stitch and you just redo it.
Absolutely. If I put my knitting down near somebody, an animal, someone that doesn't know what my things are, and they just like lift it up, they can just pull the needle right out, and then all my stitches go, which would give me a heart attack. It makes me very stressed out. But with crochet, it's just like, oh, you messed up, you need to pull out 4 stitches. Here you go.
Yeah.
It's so easy. Nothing matters. It just feels like nothing matters. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
No, I really think the worst is with crochet, it's messing up too far back. So like, you messed up in like the first row and you're gonna have to frog your whole entire piece. Or forgetting the hook size. Oh. So like that's the worst thing for me is like if I don't keep that hook with it, that could be bad.
Yeah, I feel like
I won't take notes. If I'm just designing something, I don't have a pattern to be like, oh yeah, this pattern calls for 19, so I'm sure that's what I used.
I would forget. With my GG cardigan, I have put the crochet hook in my project bag every time. I'm like, okay, I'm done now. I put it in there. Like, I won't remember. I know it's in the pattern, but like, did I write down in the pattern that I did a swatch with that hook? No, I don't write that. I don't write that part down. So I just leave everything where it's supposed to go. I like actually a few whips I have, like knitting whips, have other size needles attached to their cords because I needed the needles that were on it. And so I just hope that I wrote down like what size needle I was using. because I sure don't remember right now.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I actually did. I haven't released them yet, and I don't even think I have any in here that I can show you. But um, for our mystery Christmas boxes, I did end up designing some of those little, it's like a little square because we 3D print them. So it's like a little 3D printed square with little holes in it, and each hole underneath it has the size, hook
Oh,
size. And obviously
yeah.
I did the jumbo sizes. So I think I started at like a 6.5 because that's been pretty popular, but it goes all the way up to like a 20
Oh,
millimeter.
wow.
And it's different. There's 3 different little squares, but you can put your stitch marker through it and then insert that into your project so you know which hook.
Oh,
Like I said, I haven't released them yet, but
that sounds cool though. It just sounds, it's like a gauge, like a needle gauge. Like we have
yes,
like for knitting needles to check needle sizes, but I've never even thought about attaching it to it. Are they like really, are they small?
they're small.
Oh,
They're small.
that's
I'm
cool.
going to take my phone with me and see if I can show you because I swear I still have some in our guest room and I'll show you.
Those sound very cool because
Like
I
and
forget things.
I have not had a chance, like I said, to actually print any to put in a shop. I figure that'll be a January thing.
Oh, for sure. I couldn't do it right now.
Come
Especially because
on. I
it seems like you're still like prototyping them, you know, they're still in the, we're figuring it out.
Yeah, we sent them out in the boxes, and so far we've gotten good feedback from, you know, everyone who got boxes.
Amazing.
Yeah, they're not in there. Let me try one more place because it would be fun to be able to show you. But they're like maybe less than an inch in diameter, so they are pretty small.
That sounds
Aha!
amazing.
I found them. Okay, let me put it back on the tripod so I'm not going all over the place. Okay, so here we are. So these are the ones that and they're already on a little stitch marker right now, so I'm going to pop them off. Okay, so the smallest ones, so you can see there's like a 7, 8, 9, and then when you flip it, you've got 10, 11, and 11, 5.
Oh, that is so literally like genius to be able to do that.
And let's see if I've got one of our little, here we go. Okay, so these are our little jumbo stitch markers that we use. And so it just goes through the little.
And right onto the project.
So that way you'll know.
Smart.
And then we did these. I tried to do hook sizes that we make, but also standardized sizes because we make hook sizes that are outside of standard.
Yeah, you make those big.
So we don't make a 15.75, but that's technically the standard.
Okay.
So we make a 15, and then we've got the 12, 13, 14. That shows those.
It's just so smart. I would never even think about doing that. People will like those a lot, I think.
Yeah. And I've only seen it really where people make separate stitch markers with a little charm that's got a number on it. So like they'll have a single stitch marker that's got a charm that says 6.5 or 5 or 6, and they're usually smaller. They're not for the jumbo size. You know?
Certainly not.
So it's like we need little jumbo ones, but they're little, you know, little in comparison, like it's chunky yarn. Yeah. So this might be heavier if you were using super lightweight yarn, but you're not going to be using a 10 millimeter hook with fingering weight yarn. So, you know.
Yeah, not unless you're trying to create mesh.
Right.
A little mesh moment.
Which that's the thing. Yeah. Like that's, you know.
Oh, for sure. I would love that, honestly. There's a few knitting patterns that are like that I want to make because I think they'd be really fun to style and wear. They'd just be like, you could wear them under stuff and things like that. It would be so cool. So and they're both from James Watts, actually. The pure mesh pullover and the
cool.
Yeah, they're like really cute. They're knitting, but like they're like low yardage and like very cute. So
because I know that you are also into makeup and I would say fashion. I mean, with styling all your stuff, where are your favorite places to shop for like clothing? Do you thrift? Do you purchase online? Do you have favorite brands? Like, what is that?
I'm
like
a little boring when it comes to that. I'll be honest. I have a ton of shopping, actually. A lot of the clothes I've had for like a long time. And maybe that stems from like things just not being like cute or like the style I have created in my head that are accessible for my size. So I'm just like, I'll just keep, like, I have like 40 band t-shirts. Like I love a band t-shirt. If I'm not wearing like sweaters, I'm wearing a band t-shirt.
Gotcha.
And jeans. Like that's my
Yep.
like go-to. Like a jean jacket. Recently I've really been into like Old Navy because they go up in, at least in my store. I know it's changed recently where they have like actually gone back and they're taking the plus sizes out of store, which like is a whole thing that I don't want to even get into. But at my store they still go up to a 4X in store. And so shopping there's been great because they have like basics that aren't like weird graphic. Like Torrid is like what you think of when you think about like plus size like brand. Yeah, so well known, but they have a lot of stuff that's just like, do you know who your target audience is? Because it's not me. Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't need like a shirt that has cold shoulders and skulls and flowers on it. That's too much. Yeah. It's not for me. Yeah. But like I like their jeans. Like I like the basics that they have. They're also like very expensive. Like Torrid is definitely a thing that is just like, it's out of control. I don't think they know what they're doing, but I get a lot of that Old Navy. I love like they have patterns that are like cute. They're not like too crazy or weird, and they fit nice. I like thrifting a lot. I've gotten like sweaters in the past before I started knitting sweaters. Thrift store sweaters were my jam. I love that. And like online from like little artists that I follow. Like I have a lot of t-shirts from like Squid Vicious. She's like my favorite artist on Instagram. Her stuff is so cute. But just that, mostly it's just like I like to hoard, like not hoard. I like to go through my sister's clothes because we share like the same size. That's awesome. In tops and dresses. So like if you see me in a dress, it's not mine. Probably hers. It's hers probably. I have a few behind me that are mine. Like I made it. Like I sewed this one. That's amazing. I call it my circus tent dress because it's just like it's like very voluminous in the skirt. Made it. I made that and I get a lot of compliments on that. I want to make another one of that dress probably in a different pattern. But sewing is something I'd love to get better at doing because that opens up a whole different like world of being able to make your clothes better. Like I could make pants if I wanted to. They scared me to make, but I could. I just like basic things that I can just put with other knitwear. Just like a lot of jeans, a lot of pants, like plain dresses that I can just put with other stuff. Because honestly, if I'm not going anywhere, I'm wearing pajamas. So if I'm not leaving the house, I'm wearing pajamas. Besides today, I'm dressed today. Yes. So, and I love the hair, by the way. When did you decide to do? It's red and green, right? It's pink and green. Pink and green. It's like a bright red, though. It's like a neon red. If it was gonna be red. Oh, I like don't do red, but I do pink. I've done pink like my whole life. Yeah. I know when we like first talked about doing this, I had the yellow. I had split with yellow. And then I just got kind of tired of the yellow. I was like, it's like fading a little funky and like looks like just dingy. So I was like, I want to keep it like two different colors. So why not green? And now the green is just the thing. I don't know if I'll keep it green. I might go back to all pink one day because I have to say, it does feel very Christmassy, even if it's not red. Oh, yep. People, when I first did it, some people were like, it's Christmas. And I was like, it's pink. Yeah. Don't matter. It's Christmas. But it's fun. I like it. I've never had green hair before in my whole life. I used to be a green hair hater when I was like a teen. I was like, it looks really pretty on you. I mean, it looks good on your skin. Thank you. I really like it. And I think I'd like a dark green too. But I was just like, no, I want to go neon green actually. And these dyes both glow in black light. So I look very intense when I'm in a black. Yes. You need to go to a rave. I won't. Well, not a rave. I've been in some haunted houses recently. Like I didn't even think about that. Yeah. It was fun. It was fun because I was like, is it gonna glow? And then it did, and I was like, okay, this is a bit. Yeah. But it's fun. What are your favorite dyes? Just from one hair dyeing person to another. So I've been dyeing my hair since I was like 13. Pink, on and off, mostly pink. I've done every other color though for a short period of time, and for those kind of colors that I'm like not gonna keep forever, organic, because it like comes out that they're pretty good. They last a decent long time if you're not washing in hot water, but like it's winter. I'm washing my hair in hot water right now. Yeah. Same. These are actually both Eero colors.
I haven't heard of that.
They're from Sally's, and they have lasted a long time. And I've been washing my hair in hot water. I'm not warm, like hot water. And it's definitely heated, but it's still like pink and green, because when I first redyed my hair in the beginning of the year, I used the Good Dye Young pink from Hayley Williams, like her hair color line. And a lot of people love it. They're like, ooh, it's Hayley Williams. I love it. And you know what? I love you, Hayley Williams. But I don't love your hair dye. It's horrible. I don't like it. It's like it was so patchy when it was applied to my hair. It washed out really fast. It was really thick. Like, I don't like that at all. Yeah. And when I first started dyeing my hair in like middle school, I used Splat.
Yep.
Splat was the one for me. And I was like, this is amazing. It never comes out, because it never comes out. It doesn't come out. You can't bleach it out.
The base of this is Splat pink, which just kept like that. You know, I've gone over it with purple, but it keeps like the pink tones.
And it doesn't go away.
It stains your hair.
Oh, it does not go away. If you are trying to change your hair color after using a
don't use Splat.
Semi-permanent dye, don't use Splat.
If you want that color forever, then use Splat. I mean, I continue, if that's my starter, I'll still use it, but it is going to stain everything in your house.
It stains the bathtub. It stains your it stains your clothes and your neck,
your walls, if it splatters at all, and it stains immediately.
Oh yeah,
it's not like you can wipe it off real quick before it makes a mark. It will immediate.
Immediately, absolutely, it is immediate. I use that, and because of using that so much in my life, I was like, okay, I know it's not like good. It's not good because you can't get it out, and if you want to change your hair, you're like you're cutting it out of your hair. You can't bleach it out. It's there forever. So I started branching out, and that's why I used Eero. But before that, I used the Good Dye Young, and my sister, she started dyeing her hair like fantasy colors, and she used Arctic Fox, and I like them. I did her hair. I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
I have to mix it. I mix all of my dyes with conditioner, and for some reason that helps it not be patchy.
That's fair.
And I leave it on.
We didn't have a patchy issue, but we used, I think it's called like Electric Coral or Sunset Coral, the pink one that's like neon. And it just didn't look like, you would look at swatches of it online from the brand, and then in person, I was like, these are different colors actually.
Gotcha.
It was not as what it's advertised as. And I don't like that with anything.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's just like frustrating, and it washes out so fast. It comes out so fast, and I'm like, for like $18 a bottle, no, thank you.
Yeah,
no thanks.
That's true. Yeah,
so
I
like
I think
Eero right now. I know I like that right now, and Manic Panic is still pretty good.
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna have to look at that other one and see what they've got.
They don't have a lot of colors, I'll be honest. But you could mix a lot to like create custom colors, and they have a lot of their shades. They have like 3 different versions, so they have like green, neon green, dark green.
Gotcha.
Have, like, the whole like hue.
Yeah,
you can
mix
for greens.
Yeah.
So they're good. They are coconut oil based though. So if you have an issue with coconut oil, they might not be for you. And also because heads get hot and it's coconut oil based, I am covered in it when I'm processing my hair because I get hot.
Yeah.
My head gets so hot and it just drips. It just drips down forever because of the coconut oil. But it dyes really well. I really like it. But
that's
Splat.
Good to know though.
I've in the past for Splat when I was like younger, I've done the pink. Obviously, the neon pink is just like I would do it right now. And I've done the blue, the like cobalt blue. Never again. Won't never do that again. I'll never have,
because blue is already hard to get out.
I will never have blue hair again in my life. It looked horrible. And I used their like purple. Like they have a purple that looks like your hair color. And I liked that. It was like a magenta-y color. I like that, but I would just overall not recommend. I just wouldn't recommend that to people. Same with Overtone, which is like a color depositing conditioner, but that shit, it doesn't come out. It doesn't come out. And if you want to change your hair color, you are waiting. You're not getting it.
I mixed, and it was the prettiest pink that my hair has ever been, in my opinion, because it was actually like a cotton candy bright pink. It didn't have the magenta tones. A lot of them are like magenta pink. It was a mix of splat and overtone.
Yeah.
So I had leftover overtone conditioner that I wasn't using and mixed it with the splat. And it was the most beautiful. Now again, like this was same kind of thing. And, you know, I'm always going to stay in the pink and purple spectrum, so it's fine. But it's been hard to recreate that pink because all of them are either too light or they get too purple. It's hard to get like a true pink color.
Yeah, and my sister wanted like bubblegum pink hair, like pastel-y bubblegum hair, and we just couldn't work. We tried so many different brands, and none of them
it'll go coral or
right. So she just went, we're the same. She doesn't have the same green, but we used the same pink in her hair, and then we used Manic Panic Electric Lizard in her hair. And she has like some money pieces because I do her hair and I do my hair. So she's got some green money pieces in the front and like a green underneath.
That's cool.
And pink, and it looks really good. And the green lasts a long time. Like I will not shit on Manic Panic. They're like, they've been here for a long time. And
for a reason.
The thing I don't like about Manic Panic is their jars are so tiny. And if I was going to put that in my hair is really long. I would need like 3 jars for each side of my head. So
exactly.
But I don't know. It's fun. I liked having yellow hair. I really liked that. And I had wanted that for a long time too.
And it looks good on you. Not everyone can do like that bright neon yellow hair. Like you have
for
so
long, I would talk to my friends and be like, I want yellow hair. And they'd be like, no, ew, I want yellow hair. And I'm like, listen to me. It's my hair that I want. And then I did. And I was like, looks good, doesn't it, everybody? You let me do it 4 years ago.
That's awesome. Well, we could stay on here and continue talking about hair for like an hour probably, but we are over. So I do have to bring us to a close, but I'm so glad you could come on, that we got to make this work out. Cause I know it definitely took some finagling with the dates to get our date right. But this is the final Pink Sheep and Friends of 2022. So thank you so much for helping me end this year's season, I guess, like a season, on such a wonderful note. And I know that we had a great conversation. If anyone joined in late and you want to rewatch, it will be available here on Instagram almost immediately. But I will also be posting it over on YouTube in our playlist. That is the Pink Sheep and Friends playlist that you guys can check out anytime if you want to make some new friends in the fiber community. But definitely go follow Courtney over on her Instagram page. If you are not already, check out her amazing work. And we'll have to check up again soon. I definitely think we need to do a revisit of, if we can go through and figure out a good list, we could go in and talk about some of these designers who are.
I'd love to be able to do a little talk and like showcase some designers that are out there doing the work for crochet, because the knitters got it all. We've got it. It's fine. But like crochet, if you want some inclusive crochet, we can work on that, because I think it would be really great to be able to have it. For you to be able to share it, because I know like I said, there's like bundles on Ravelry that I can like look at and we can talk about. But it'd be great to have like other people share it and have it be known that like there are fun and cute designs that you can crochet. Yes.
So that will have to be a follow-up. We will definitely have to get back together in 2023 for another episode follow-up. And we'll talk soon. I hope that everyone has a wonderful weekend. And a great Christmas.
Yes, I hope you have a good holiday season. I hope you celebrate Hanukkah. It starts soon, the 18th. So happy Hanukkah and Merry Christmas and Kwanzaa and all the holidays that I don't know about for December. I hope you all have a good season. If you don't celebrate anything, I just hope you have fun.
Yes.
I just hope you have a good time.
All right. Well, happy hooking and happy knitting to everyone. And we'll see y'all soon. Bye, guys.